Presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
We got another NFC East show. Week 1 in the books, and we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Zodiac TV, and the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. I'm the Philly sports guy. I'm with Drew Blue, Ed Sneaky G, and the Washington guy is still cleaning up the poop. He's still cleaning up the poop off of him, from the other day. What's up, guys?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, listen, I'm living large. I'm on top. I'm on top of the NFC East. So I am.
Yes, you are.
It took him less than 5 seconds to get into it already.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's hard when everybody. Hey, listen, we were all underdogs. We were all underdogs this week, and only one rose above.
That's it, man. It was one of those weeks. With starting Thursday, it was it snuck up on us quicker than we thought.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, it's Sunday and you guys are playing. But I had a lot of fun. It was fun being out there in Tampa Bay. It was fun rooting for my team. We did a lot better than most folks thought.
I'll be honest with you. I was impressed with how Dak played. He wasn't timid at all.
Nope.
I thought it was going to be a closer game. I didn't think that you guys deserved the 8.5 point spread, and actually went up to 9. I would have bet with you guys on that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that you guys were going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than.
Yeah, it was one of those things when the game first started. In the first drive, the defense stopped Tampa Bay on the first drive, and then we got the ball. Of course, we turned around, drove it down the field. It was just hearing the voices all summer long saying on how the Cowboys were not going to do what they were going to do, and Dak Prescott not going to do with the injury that he's coming off of with no preseason games. But he showed out. He showed out, and he did over 60 passes, which is amazing.
Well, he was 48. I'm sorry, he was 42 of 58, 403 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 pick. I'm going to say this. I'm actually going to say something nice about, well, not even about the Dallas, mainly Dak. It's good to see him. I mean, nobody wishes any ill will. I mean, that injury was very gruesome.
Yep.
And the fact that he came back and he played as strong as he did, good for him. Now, granted, yes, I'm happy that y'all lost. I'm sorry. I'm in a minute. I like you, True Blue. I'm trying to be nice.
I got you.
I'm trying, very trying. I mean, you guys should have won that game.
Yep.
In all honesty, you guys should have won that. Okay. On paper, it said 4 turnovers. But it's really 3. That interception at halftime, that's a wash. That's a wash. But one, I mean, to be fair, the score is not, and I love to use this word, is not vindicative of the game. Don't ask me how to spell that.
Indicative, not vindicative. Vindictive.
I say tomato, you say tomato. Okay, Philly sports guy, give me a break here. So I mean the Fournette fumble, the Goodwin or the Goodwill fumble in the end zone. I mean, the score should have been a lot worse. But then again, the miscues by the the field goal kicker, with the 2 missed field goals, extra points. You guys should have won that game. I honestly believe, and this is just my opinion, and I was getting some slack from Tampa Bay folks, and which is okay because I'll take all the smoke. They look sloppy now. Okay, and we can say first game jitters if you want to, but they look sloppy. Even
you are the reigning Super Bowl champs with 22 starters coming back.
Yeah, and also the penalties. 11 penalties?
Yeah.
From Tampa Bay for 106 yards?
Should have been more.
Should have been, yes, at least one more, right?
Yeah. Yep, most definitely on that one. But I wasn't. It was a mixture of both. I mean, Gronkowski was pushing off. Antonio Brown pushed off on that long TD.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where they were creating the separation, and the refs weren't calling it. And I called the line judge out on it, and I said, hey, even when my guy did it, I called him out. And it wasn't one of those things. I called the line judge out, number 98. I still won't forget him because he came over and told me to pipe down.
I'm like, no, I paid some money for these damn seats. You're going to listen to me.
Yeah, but it was a good game overall. And then coming back Sunday and seeing you guys, both the Giants and the Eagles and Washington.
Yeah, and there goes Philly sports guy smiling from ear to ear.
Well, he should. He's got week 1 in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I as far as everything goes, I mean, like I said, obviously Dallas played a good game. I really felt that Tampa Bay kept you guys in it. You know what I mean? It really was, some of the turnovers like that. Obviously, that one interception, not that I'm counting, like the one it went through his hands. It went through his hands.
Oh yeah, and bounced off. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was so ridiculous to kind of see that. But turnover's turnover. You know what I mean? You got to get them how you get them. And ultimately, I watched a little bit of the Giants game. Yeah,
we'll get to the Giants game. We'll get,
and then Washington getting pooped on. They're just literally, that whole stadium. That was like highlight. That was the highlight of their season. You know what I mean? It's first off, their quarterback lasts a whole 5 minutes of the game. And then he's out. He's out for 8 months or 8 weeks, and they bring in Heineke. Hey, you heard me do the hot take. I thought that if they have to play Heineke, they're going to be the ones that wind up winning the division. So I firmly believe that it's possible now that that's going to be the case. But all being said and done, we had a very good game. And I'm going to chalk it up a little bit to the fact that I think Atlanta was a little overrated before this game started.
I can agree to that.
3.5-point favorite, at home, I thought was giving very little respect. I think the media was listening to the rest of the media.
Yep.
That was what it was. Is that everybody in the media started, listening to themselves.
Right? Yeah, and your defense looked great, and that's the thing that I even saw it in Monday night's game, Sunday night's game, was that these defensive players, they were feeding off the crowd. Even you guys, your fans that were there at the stadium cheering them on. I mean, the Cowboys, us being there in Tampa Bay cheering them on. The defensive players were they hadn't heard that in over a year. They hadn't had that kind of expectation out of the fans, and they thrive on it, and they fed off of it. And your Eagles did some damage to those Falcons. Yes.
Well, I tell you, I was surprised. I mean, obviously, I know Atlanta is not the best football stadium, football town. The stadium is actually fairly impressive.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual, fandom of the team, it ain't a soccer. That's a soccer town. As funny as that sounds. They were sold out. They were sold out for the soccer game. They were at half capacity. I thought that maybe like 2/3 capacity because there were so many Eagles fans that were there.
Well, I mean, I think that the fact the departure of Julio Jones. Now let's put this in perspective here, okay? Matty Ice is not Matty Ice without Julio Jones, and I'll even go far as Rodney White. Even before Julio Jones. So this is a whole new offense without. I'm sorry, Calvin really is not Julio Jones.
No,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Julio wanted to leave for his own reason, and I get that. But the problem is, I'm not writing off Matty Ice. I know he has maybe 1 or 2 years left, but it's not going to be with the Falcons. There's nothing wrong with trying to start up, but yeah, it's going to be rough. But okay. So let's look at the box scores real quick.
So I have them all up right now. So
yeah. So
who should we start with? Should we start with? I guess Thursday. We already know what happened on Thursday. I mean, we could go through the box scores there. Dak actually had a better quarterback rating than Brady did.
Yep.
So he had a 101 rating in comparison to 97 for Brady. Obviously, Brady got the win, but the 2 interceptions brought him down some. Cooper got 2 touchdowns, 139 yards. Lamb with 104 yards. And is Gallup out for the season?
No, he's out for high calf strain. He's out for probably a couple of weeks. What they're saying.
Got you. Okay, because it showed that they had him on IR. So at least on my fantasy. Yeah, and I'm not talking about fantasy. What was going on with Zeke? I mean, obviously, nobody was able to run the ball in that game whatsoever.
Yeah, and I was looking at that, and then after all, looking at over the box, if you look at this past week, there was only 3 rushers, I believe, 3 or 4 rushers that went over 100 yards. Everybody was in. There was no rushing this weekend. I mean, absolutely none.
Yeah.
Three running backs only got 100 yards, like I said. Nobody did over 50 yards out of all the teams, plus that. So I don't know if it was a type of offense, but, there was a little story put out there by Kellen Moore that Dak Prescott changed the play 12 times on a run. And why he needed to put that out there, I have no idea. I guess because of the running situation that was at hand. But, Dak Prescott is a leader out there on the offense, and he does what he does. So I see no complaint.
So he changed the plays in the huddle?
He changed the plays on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he checked out of that play and went to a pass.
Yep. Which was smart.
Well, I mean, when you throw for 400 yards, and he didn't look timid out there, which was what I was really impressed with. The fact that he was able to run a little bit and get around and he did get hit. He did get hit, so that was also something that I was a little impressed with, just kind of watching it. But I mean, I was just excited that that football was back and that you guys lost. So
well, and to kind of go back to Dak audibling the play at the line. Obviously, if there's 8 in the box, you're gonna change the play to a pass play.
Yeah.
So maybe the fact that Dak, I love you, my oldest. Just said it here. We'll make it work. They always come when it's live. They always come. You better put it right. Anyway, when there's 8 in the box, maybe they were prepared for Zeke, and they figured that they wanted Dak to beat them with his arm.
Yeah.
And so we're going to load the box. So we're going to make Dak throw, and he did, and he got 400 plus yards.
There was one. We had the red zone, and I think we were on the 3-yard line of Tampa Bay. And it was a one-on-one situation, Zeke versus a linebacker. Our tight end, Dalton Schultz, should have got a little block there going, and he got spun around, and Zeke got hit right there on the line of scrimmage, and we didn't score on that one. Of course, we missed that field goal, which didn't help. So it was a roundabout of a couple of things. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like your defense is still a little suspect right now.
Well,
I mean, they
what's
did
really
get 4
huge,
turnovers, but
what's really huge, what happened today, DeMarcus Lawrence is out.
Hmm.
He's out for a couple of weeks. He got a
I,
hairline fracture in the foot.
I actually just saw that as we were coming on.
Yeah.
I just
So
saw that.
we're going to see how that goes and next man up. So,
yeah, that's actually what they're saying right here. They go, D-Law out, Randy out, next no name up. Sorry, I want to get that up there. And Cade McDonald. So thanks for tuning in, Cade. We allow Cowboys fans on here a little bit. So, but so ultimately, like I said, enough talking about you guys. You guys lost your 0-1. You're going up against the Chargers here. And how do you feel about the fact that you're underdogs again?
yeah, we're underdogs -3 or -3 at that one. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. It's one of those things where, the wide receivers for the Chargers are already saying that they're licking their chops, ready to get out there. But, again, the Chargers are not going to be able to stop the run. So Zeke will have a good run game this week go round.
I don't know. They did stop. What is it, Gobson? Last week. I don't have his numbers up real quick on how many yards, but I'll be honest with you. The passing game, Herbert's good.
Oh yeah,
Gibson had 90 yards actually.
Gibson had 90 yards.
Yeah.
How many carries?
20
out of 20 carries. Okay.
yeah.
But what? Less than maybe less than 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, 4.5.
4.5. Yeah. Okay.
So, but ultimately, and I don't know, again, I didn't see the game like that. There was, he also had 3 receptions for another 18 yards. So he had 108 yards out of the backfield. They did rush for 126 yards as a team. Only, really 20 of that came from the quarterback scrambles.
Yeah.
So they did rush for over 100 yards. I don't know how much that really.
And if I'm not mistaken, Chargers did have over 426 yards total offense.
They had exactly.
If I'm not mistaken,
126. No, I'm sorry. 90 and 427 yards of total offense.
Okay, so I was 1 year off. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't like correct. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I couldn't say audible. I couldn't say audible. I can't even still say it. Shoot.
I wasn't correcting you. I was just kind of saying it as I see it. So.
Yeah, and I think Zeke's going to have a good game against the Chargers. I think, of course, Chargers are going to do what they're going to do, but I think it's going to be a closer one than what it was to be. Well, we got -9. The Bucks got -9 on that game, or -8, and look where we carried them to. So.
Well, not only that. The Chargers had to come back. They were down. So.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I've always said, that Justin Herbert kid, he's good. I like him.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because obviously everybody from the West, every team in the West, all of them. If you're in the West Division, you won last week.
Yep.
And if you're in the North, you lost.
Or the NFC North. The NFC North.
Well, that's what I mean. The NFC North. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right. Well, the AFC West and the NFC West both won all of their games.
Yep.
Interestingly, as that's put. So, it is what it is. That's like I says, it was just one game. Obviously, it was a good game for us, not so good a game for you guys. Let's talk about the Giants.
Well, before we get to the Giants, quick question. Do you believe, is Jalen Hurts your guy now?
So there were a number of things that I saw that I was happy with. There were a few things that I saw that I still have a little bit of concern about. Obviously, he's still a work in progress. I cannot say that we are Super Bowl bound on that one game. I feel that one of the things that we have become accustomed to in Philadelphia was Wentz, amongst all of his faults, he was able to throw the ball with a lot of accuracy and power while running out of the pocket. So on the move, he was actually better than when he was standing still. That's not the case with Hurts. Hurts threw a few wobblers to people, it was apparent. It was apparent with those wobblers. Now, one went to Zach Ertz where he literally had to just stop and like hope and pray that the ball made it to him. You know what I mean? Because he was wide open, and thank God for that. Because if anybody was close by, that ball would have been a pick six. Just there was a few times where I saw it and the ball was like, wee, you know what I mean? It was like a wobbly duck. And yeah, I don't care that it's a wobbly duck as long as it gets to where it's supposed to. However, there were a couple of times, literally 2 times that I know, that they volleyballed the football out of the air. They literally spiked it out of the air.
Okay.
So that tells me a couple of things. It tells me, one, the arm strength that they're talking about, that everybody in the media is talking about, is a little true. Especially when he's moving. So if I was a defensive coordinator going against the Eagles right now, that's the first thing that I would take note to, that we want to get him moving his feet. And once he gets moving his feet, we want to make sure that we keep him behind the line of scrimmage and have him throw the ball. So move and throw, not move and run past the line of scrimmage, because that's where he's going to be able to beat you some, if that's the case. So amongst all the other things, the other thing that I could really say that I was 100% happy with was the offensive line. Oh, my Lord, that offensive line looked amazing. Amazing. They were showing Brian Baldinger did a little thing. He was like showing how one play you had Lane Johnson pancake the tackle on the one side and Jordan Mailata pancake the tackle on the other side. He's like, take a picture of that. That is like art. That is like offensive lineman art, for them.
Well,
there was one play, Mailata just literally pushed the guy over and the guy went flying. It was beautiful.
There is something to talk about the lineman art now that you're getting there, and somebody pointed it out, that for the first time in history, 2 offensive linemen were trying to take each other on for the New York Football Giants.
They ran into each other. Jesus.
It's everything that everybody was putting out there, and and that's the thing. I was looking for the clip. I couldn't find the clip, but you see the 2 offensive linemen.
I'll send it to you. I got 150 copies of it.
Everybody said.
Look. I mean, they make it seem like it's the butt fumble. Okay.
Look,
the offensive line did not play well. I mean, okay. Now let's talk about the Giants. Let's just get it over.
Let's break in there.
I will. You know what? I will say this: the shining light, and I'm going to be brave. I'm going to stand on my soapbox right now. Daniel Jones did not lose the game for us. He did have one play, that fumble, that killed the momentum, where we could have at least gotten 3 points, where it would have been either 10-17 or 14-17 had we got the touchdown. But other than that, Daniel Jones did not set the defense up for failure. He did not set them with their backs against the wall. He did not give them a short field. He did not put them in a position to where the defense could not defend the end zone. When you're 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions, that's a problem. When your opposing team has the ball for 35 minutes, that's a problem. If we were 7 of 15 in 3rd down conversions, that's a problem. A total of 425 yards total offense. that's a problem. And Daniel Jones had nothing to do. He threw 0 picks. He threw the 1 touchdown. Oh my God! Now and they had a limit count on Saquon. The offensive line was below standard. Nate Soldiers, missed the sack on Daniel Jones. The lineman, I think it was Miller, rushed right in. Soldiers didn't keep his head on the swivel.
Yeah.
Um,
From your take, with what you're speaking of your offensive line and your offense, your defense, what was your weak point on that side?
They couldn't get off the field.
We couldn't get off the field. We didn't make adjustments, and the play calling. I'm gonna hold our defensive coordinator Patrick Graham accountable. I don't understand why there were so many opportunities that the Broncos had where the flats were wide open, and then there was the one play where I want to say it was a 3rd down play because Bridgewater scored on that 4th down play. He got the 1st down. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to mention missed tackles. McKinney, our 2nd round draft pick, missed the tackle. You can't do that. You got to make the play. That would have been a loss. And then I played quarterback in high school, a little bit of semi-pro. I say that because it's quarterbacking 101. You don't throw the ball in the middle of the field. What did Bridgewater do? He threw the ball in the middle of the field, and it was completed. So, okay, and I'm emotional about all this because our offensive line, I can only imagine the comments. Our offensive line, we had questions about it. Our quarterbacking, we had questions about it. Our defense was the only thing that we knew we had. And I haven't read that yet, so give me 1 second. And we didn't even have that. We didn't even have that. So,
Raphael says, sneaky, Giants need to focus on the next game against Washington because for me, they need to improve more their defense and tell Daniel Jones don't mess up. Because Giants is getting a 5-year bad luck of not having a spot in the playoffs. The only hope is signing a brand new or free agent quarterback or goodbye playoffs. Sorry about that, folks. And so he was saying that he just doesn't trust Daniel Jones either. From what I see, just reading the box score, reading the game book, you guys went 50% on 3rd down efficiency. You know what I mean? So you guys went 6 for 12 on 3rd down, 1 for 3 on 4th down. So, obviously they were able to stop you. Only 314 yards of total offense.
Right, but also look at the time of possession. That is disgusting. We didn't even have the ball for 25 minutes. We didn't.
Yeah, 24-52.
Wow.
We didn't even have it for 25 minutes. And
that's indicative of not getting off the field. Obviously 7 for 15, but then they went 3 for 3 on 4th down. So really, That's more like 10 for 15. When you think about it in that regards. So 10 out of 15 times you couldn't get them off the field.
Right.
420 yards of total offense. The Broncos are much improved, and I thought that the offensive line was going to be part of the problem in New York. It didn't show that it was that at that point. You know what I mean? I feel like that maybe that the defense obviously has got some work that has to have happen. I do feel after watching some of the plays, what did you think about Judge's play calling?
I wouldn't say so much of Judge, more of Garrett's. And it was very conservative. I think at times he was playing. I was questioning it. I'm going to be honest. Our 1st round pick, Kadavius Tony. I mess up his name every time I say it. A jet sweep for a loss. Why not do a bubble screen? Why not do a slip screen? A jet sweep. And then it was 3rd and 11. They had just kicked the field. The Broncos just kicked the field goal. We're on our 10-yard line, and we hand the ball off. It's 3rd and 11. Yeah, I have no problems questioning the play calling for the offense and the defense. It was poorly all around. Y'all need Cam. Oh, hell no. Hey, look, with all due respect, no, we don't. We don't need Cam. We do not need Cam Newton. And no disrespect to Cam Newton, but Mr. Dimes is a fellow. Okay, see, this is what I don't understand. All right. Let me give me the mic for a minute. Hold on. The last two compliments the last two people that had made posts, okay? He should have never been. I'm curious as to who's your team. Is it the Giants? I'm just curious. Because I'm saying this. Again, Daniel Jones did not lose the game for us. Simple as that. I don't understand why people keep repeating that over and over again. Now, if Daniel Jones would have thrown for 2 picks and had a fumble, I get it. Okay, yes, turnovers, he caused them. Boom. That wasn't the case on Sunday. It was our defense. They did not make adjustments. Our play calling did not make adjustments either. So we need to if you don't like Daniel Jones because it's Daniel Jones, okay. But let's hold the people accountable for that that should have some blame for Sunday's game. And it wasn't Jones. Offensive line, defensive line, play calling. That's it. Simple as that.
Well, so looking at tomorrow, your Giants are a 3.5-point dog against the Washington football team.
We're playing them in Washington.
Correct.
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to give you guys a guarantee. This is a guarantee that I'm going to get, and I hope everybody's paying attention to me right now when I say this.
The Giants won't get pooped on.
I hope not. I hope not. I guarantee, win or loss, Friday, I'll have my lanyard on, my New York Giants lanyard on. That's my guarantee. Matter of fact, I'm going to wear my Giants shirt and hat, win or loss. Okay, and now, realistically, I don't know if you guys heard the news, but Saquon is now listed as questionable for apparent knee injury from Sunday's game. Evan is out. Maybe that's why we didn't get an interception. So Evan is out again, and Lemieux is out again. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really surprised at how the defense played. I really hope that we can get the ball more to Galladay and more plays to Kadavius. But yesterday in Coach Judge press conference, he said to the press, "Don't be surprised if you don't see explosive plays." What are you talking? He said this defense prevents that. So I'm hoping he's saying that as like
motivation.
Yeah, well, not motivation, kind of. I mean, because there's no way Coach Judge is going to push out or publicly say the game plan.
Yeah.
Maybe it's smoke and mirrors. I don't know. But
ultimately, I mean, so he's saying don't be surprised if you don't see any big plays from your offense.
Yes, because of the football team's defense.
Yeah.
Right.
Their defense is so disciplined, and then he went off and talked about Chase Young, and I give Chase Young his respect, but
I think he's being very, ridiculously honest there. You're going to have to have quick routes and be able to get the ball out of your hands, especially because your offensive line is a little bit in tatters. I mean, so he only got sacked twice in that game, which is I feel was a win for your offensive line in the shape that it's in right now.
Right,
you know what I mean? So, but now the Chargers. I mean, what they got? Bosa. They got the older Bosa there, right? So he's not really that good. You got Joey Bosa, but I mean, other than that, there's really, I mean, they don't have the line that Washington has.
Right.
Washington's front four is better known. Now, the one thing that you do happen to have going for you is that Daniel Jones does not lose to the Washington football team. He does not lose to them.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. He's got the magic juju over Washington.
Well, yeah. And hopefully we can keep. And and another thing I want to say, out of the 2 games last year, and think of the multiple plays. Chase Young had just 1 sack, and I don't know if he was lined up against Andrew Thomas at that time, our number 1 of last year against their number 1. But I do know that he got 1 sack, and I hope that to come tomorrow that it will continue to only be 1 sack. But we'll see. Yeah, the 2 sacks, the 1 sack, the pocket actually collapsed on Daniel Jones on Sunday. Actually, it was the first sack was the one that Nate Soldiers basically gave the lookout block to Miller. You guys know what a lookout block is, right? Your DB runs right by you. You look out. That's the block that he gave to Daniel Jones.
He's coming.
Duck. I really hope all around that I'm tired of losing. I look. My glass is always half full. I said it yesterday on my show. Bottom line is this. I'm frustrated as well. I'm tired of losing. I mean, True Blue, you know what it's like. It's been like 20-some years for you. But I'm just tired. I'm tired of losing. And it's hard for me to defend Daniel Jones. And it's only 1 game. And I'm not going to act like it's the end of the season. But something needs to improve. Something needs to happen. Because the more and more, I mean, look, he didn't even lose the game for us. And everybody's bashing him. So can you imagine how hard it'll be for me to defend him? God forbid he threw 2 picks and, 3 touchdown passes. Oh, but he still threw those 2, Can you imagine that? All right, I'm off my soapbox. I'm sorry.
Well, I hear you because ultimately you're this is it's not a must win, but it's we really do need to win this one now, or you're in fear of going into the same type of situation because your schedule doesn't get any easier, right?
No, well, and it's not just that. I'm tired of starting the season 0-3, 0-4, 0-6, 0-7. It's 1-7. I mean, it gets old. It gets extremely old. 1 or 2 years, okay, I get it. You're rebuilding, you're putting the parts into play. I like Gettleman for what he was able to do in the draft. But now the guys that he picked, they have to produce. And if he's not picking the right guys to produce on the field, then maybe it might be time to find someone who can pick the right guys so they can produce on the field. Now, it's 1 game. Gettleman open up the checkbook. Let's just see what's going to happen and let the chips fall where they may.
So, well, so do you have a prediction?
Oh, we're going to win this shit. What are you talking about? We're going to win. Yeah. I have a tear.
He's crying for you. He's crying for you. Of course, Ed is definitely a diehard Eagles fan, deep in the heart of Washington country. So,
Mm.
I mean, he lives in Manassas, Virginia, and I have a buddy that's going to be down there. He's going down there this week. And I said, "Oh, you should go to the game because there's a whole bunch of people over there in Manassas, because that's right near Dumfries and Manassas. That's all Virginia. That's all Washington country. You know what I mean?
How's your what's your team coming up, Philly?
We have 49ers. So
Coming into town or going out?
they are coming into town. So, well, real quick, just so that we can finish up with Sneaky really fast.
Okay. Well, what we got?
That's funny. That's funny. Together, it's dumb asses. So, and Dash says hello. He's feeling for you. He says you might need a hug. You might need some love. So Dash says hello.
Yeah, I saw him comment on my side over here too. I obviously didn't get a chance to get to it. So
got you. But so do you have a score prediction?
17-24 Giants.
17-24 Giants, and hopefully nobody gets some pooped on. Nobody gets pooped on.
Oof.
And that's going to live longer than you telling me about the horse.
You might have to explain. I don't think too many people know about what you're talking about.
I wish I had the video because
I just now found out about it through you. So
what happened
I saw
at
it on
the
TV.
Washington Stadium, somewhere in the middle of like the second quarter or wherever, a pipe burst open. And they're not sure if it was a rainwater pipe or if it was a sewage pipe. However, it was raining down on fans, and like they all scattered. And somebody saying, you hear somebody in the background going, "That's sewage. It's
Yeah. And it did look like it.
It did. And somebody's saying it's rain. Apparently, it was rain. I guess there could have been some dirt in that rain, and that's what looked like it. I tell you, when there's water that's sitting in a pipe, it's going to start to stink either way.
Now, thank God it wasn't a Philly Skins game, because then you guys would have been like,
I think that one got.
I'll let him because he needs some joy.
I think that one snuck up on Sneaky.
Oh my God, that was so funny. I'm sorry.
I think that one snuck up on you.
Washington, and when you have that mojo, it gets into the other team's head as well. So, I mean, the fact that, we beat the Giants so many times, including the first game last season, because of the same situation. It gets in the Giants' head. I feel the same thing's going to happen with Washington. I have you guys up 24-13.
Okay.
So, I think Heineke has a bad game. But so, True Blue, do you have a prediction for that game?
I'm gonna say the Giants. Where's this game being held at?
Washington. In the Poop Dome.
In the Poop Dome.
Man, I don't know. I know the Giants do have their number for the past several years, but I think Washington's gonna pull it out just by 3.
Okay. Very good. So, next we go to the Eagles versus the 49ers. I think that this is going to be a really good game. It's going to be a very good test to see where the Eagles actually are. I felt, and I even said last week, and I've said for a couple of weeks, I thought that the Eagles are going to wind up going 3-0. And in the process of that, they're going to wind up going 3-3. Now, I could be a little off in that mix, where they, lose this game, win on Monday night next week, and then, lose to Tampa Bay, win to Carolina. Just however the 3-3 becomes, I think that that's going to be a true statement. However, I think that this is a winnable game. The Eagles are playing the 49ers at home. They beat them last year. I don't believe in Garoppolo. I think Garoppolo is not the quarterback. They are still playing games out there with putting both quarterbacks in. I like the fact that this is a 1:00 game for a West Coast team. And that's a big deal. So you're coming in here. It's the second game on the road for the Niners. They had to go to Detroit last week. Now they're coming to Philadelphia. It's going to be a full stadium in Philadelphia. First time in a really long time that was the case. And I think that the crowd's going to be electric. I think that the team is going to feed off of it. I felt that if any team will feed off of its crowd, the Eagles were the ones that what really missed out last year on that amongst everybody else. We had 8 to 10,000 people down there in Atlanta. And I think that that's going to play a big part. I believe it's worth 6 points. I believe it's worth 6 points. And I think that 6 points is going to come into play. I have the Eagles winning this game. I have it 27-25. As funny as that sounds.
No.
So I think it's going to be 25-24, and I think we win it at the end with a field goal.
There you go.
Well, I'm going to say this is going to, I agree, this is going to be a test for not only the Eagles, but for Hurts. This is going to be a big challenge because that defense, granted, it still gave up over 400 yards. And, they were just one play away from losing to the Detroit Lions. I could honestly see the ball in Hurts' hand with less than 2 minutes left, and he sets them up for a game-winning field goal. I could see 24-27.
That's kind of what I have. I have it at 25. I don't know why I say 25, but that was the number that came into my head. 27-25 Eagles. And last week on Sunday, if I was a gambling guy, I would have bet a lot of money on the money line. In fact, I would have teased the money line so that the Eagles were giving points and taking a higher spread. I thought that the Eagles would be able to give away 3 points and still win that game. And I would have taken that as like a plus 400 or so if that was the case. But I'm not a gambler.
Oh, and allow me to back it up. I think when they kicked the field goal at the end or in the fourth quarter, that's what brought them. That's what pretty much clinched the game. But before that, all they needed was a touchdown. The 49ers. I mean, Detroit needed a touchdown for the 49ers because I know the score is 41-33.
They scored 14 points. They scored 15 points in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that score ended 41-33. And the only reason why I remember that so well is because there was a Super Bowl that ended in that score. And we were the winning team of that. So, obviously, my game was much more important at 41-33 than theirs was. However, I just like I said, that kind of sticks out in my head. So, True Blue, what do you think? Do you have a prediction for the Eagles?
Yeah, I think San Francisco is going to take this one 31-24. And the only reason I'm saying that is after watching Jalen Hurts and then comparing the defense that San Francisco has, I think you guys are – I think he will get his 3 touchdowns and that field goal like Sneaky's talking about. But I think the San Francisco team is going to pull it out just with, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. I know that stadium's rough to play in, but they've got the deep threat over the top, so we'll see.
All right, we will see. And that leaves us with Dallas going to L.A. So that's the other thing. San Francisco, it's 2 weeks on the road. Dallas is 2 weeks on the road.
Yep.
And that becomes hard. I guess it's not as hard for Dallas because they didn't have to travel ridiculously far to Tampa Bay. You don't have to travel ridiculously far to LA in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's not going from Seattle to Miami or San Francisco to Philly, So I think that's going to give you a little bit of an advantage. You're a 3.5 point dog in that game. What do you think? What are you thinking?
I think we're going to get over 30 points on them. We're going to hold them under 27. So I'm going to say it's going to be 38 to 24. 2 touchdowns on top of them.
Okay. And so Dak is going to throw for 4 touchdowns, and Zeke's going to run for 1, or is it going to be?
I think CeeDee Lamb. I think with CeeDee Lamb, and we got Brown coming in there. I think stepping up, and Amari Cooper. What Amari Cooper showed last week is he is the number 1 receiver. So I think it's going to be spread out, and I think our tight ends are going to do a little bit more. I think our tight ends, they played a pivotal role in last week's game. I think they're going to play a bigger role in this weekend. This week, with a 2 tight end set. So it's going to be interesting on how they're going to run things.
So they're going to go to a 12-man package.
12-man.
Well, that's what they call it, a 12-man. When you go with the double tight end set.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be necessary for what the Chargers are going to try and do, especially with what the Washington football team did on the running game. I think they are going to try and stack the box to hold them up. But, I understand Michael Gallup's out, but we've got more receivers than that coming up.
So we have Dash, who is a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I have the Chargers winning. With how much I love my Cowboys, I hate this gut feeling that we have that we will lose, but it's going to be a very close game.
So, I see that. The one thing I didn't realize is that your home opener is Monday Night Football the following week. So I picked up on that earlier today. I was like, oh, they're going on the road again. Wow. So Monday Night Football. And ultimately that's the absolute longest that you could possibly go without a home opener. You can't go any longer. They have to have your home opener within the first 3 weeks.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
They don't give you 3 weeks away. You could have 3 away games
after the 3rd game.
Yeah, but you're not going to have your home opener 3 weeks away because there's a couple of teams. There's a couple.
That makes sense.
San Francisco is also going to have their home opener on next week. Next Sunday. So I think that there's a few teams that runs into, but because it's Monday Night Football, you guys started the very first game, and you have the longest turn till you get your home opener, and it's the longest that it could be. Yep. And that's just a little fun fact. You know what I mean? That's just it's one of those things that doesn't really come up very often. But the fact that they put this on Monday Night Football, is. I guess 10 days more
in between, 8 days after that, it is something to, it's a lot of traveling.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a lot of travel, and it's and then to do it on Monday night. So it's like, again, you're never in the routine yet because you started on a Thursday night, then you go Sunday on the road, then you come home and you're doing it on Monday Night Football. So as far as the routine goes, it's going to be hard. So you almost need this game because you don't want to go into Monday Night Football 0-2 with the possibility of the Eagles being 2-0.
Yep.
And then I know I'm going to be down there. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to be loud and proud right next to you, hopefully. And, trying to make sure that we're doing our thing. I kind of expect that you won't see as many Eagles fans down there because it's a Monday Night Football game in September.
Yeah.
If it was in November, I'd see more. But because it's this early in the season, you're going to run in. School started. You got the kids at school that, COVID and all these other things. I just don't see there going to be the 6,000 to 10,000 Eagles fans that are normally down there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be less than that. And because of that, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. It's not, the Dallas fans are going to, have the home field advantage there.
Yeah, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice having a home opener with, I know we had fans last year. We had, but it was nothing like it was. Even this preseason where we're having 70,000 fans show up. So,
Right.
yeah, I guarantee Monday night to be some more.
And the stadium's fully open now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
So,
and the Miller Lite Club is now open on the west side.
There you go. And so, I mean, that's going to be a fun week to talk about next week. Obviously, when we're going in. Obviously, like I said, the Washington football team fan had to still wipe the poop off, so he couldn't be here tonight.
I don't think I gave my prediction.
No, you did not.
No, you haven't.
Not
I did.
for the Dallas Chargers game. You did not.
No, not at all. I mean, I think it's going to be a very close contest. I'm thinking like 57-0 Chargers. It's going to be a very competitive, maybe 64-72. Yeah, just something close.
like your shave. Like
Hey,
your
what-
shave.
Exactly like that.
What exact? So Philly, what's that? What exactly is that promo that you put up usually that for your Monday trip?
Oh, you mean this one right here?
I don't
Or is
know
that-
which one is it.
It's this one right here. Bam!
Oh, there you go.
Dallas Monday Night Football. Because September 25th, going with Philly Sports Trips. Okay, you can get your tickets from phillysportstrips.com. And I also, we have our home opener this week. You can go to the tailgate. Yeah, I have my tailgate. AJ Feely just confirmed going to be at my tailgate here at the Gatehouse. Again, go to phillysportstrips.com for tickets. The tailgate includes a parking pass. So, you can't beat that. You get to park and eat and drink for free and golf carts. And we have golf carts going back and forth to the stadium. So you ain't got to walk that far. We're in the Navy Yard. So it's going to be a great show, a great time.
There you go.
Come on and hang out with us all. So.
Heck yeah, man.
But so,
I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward first to this weekend.
Oh, I can't. Oh, tomorrow. I'm going to let everybody know, yes, I will be live streaming, not the game, but so please come on and join me on the Make It Count Sneaky G podcast, 8 o'clock, Dallas, Texas time, Twitch, Sneaky G Man with 2 N's, YouTube, Sneaky G Man.
And True Blue, are you going to Los Angeles?
I got a business trip that I have to, or business meeting I got to now attend on Monday, so I'm not going to be able to make it. I wouldn't be back on time.
Understood. Wow, that's a big loss. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
When he's not going to be there, I now I'm more confident in your score there. I am much more confident in your Sneaky. It's possible. Yeah, that's another 4 points there. So maybe it's like 76-0. So
Right.
But hey, listen, as we're winding down here, again, I appreciate everybody that watched with us tonight. And hey, listen, we are running into a little bit of an issue. We have not been able to get a Washington football team fan to be able to come on a regular basis. The guys that we do have, they have lives and families, and it's been really difficult. If you know of if you're a Washington football team fan and are interested in coming on, you have to know your stuff. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to hang with us. So please, if you are, come on and reach out to me personally. I would love to have you on. I know we're on enough of the NFC East groups that there are some Washington football team fans out there, and I'd really like to have a true fan who knows what's going on to get me onto this show. Like I says, I love our guys. I love the hog farmers, but they do have families and stuff like that, and it's it's funny to make fun of them while they're not here. But I really would love to have a Washington. Yes, they do exist. Yes, Virginia, there is a Washington football team fan somewhere out there. Not many. They're definitely a dying breed. But
if you don't know who Doug Williams is, you don't qualify.
That's exactly correct.
You don't qualify.
So, all right, guys. Well, again, thank you very much for hanging with us all night long. And yeah, we'll see you next week, next Wednesday on the NFC East show. Go
Let's
Birds!
Go Cowboys!
Oh!